never met a stranger. He never turned his back on anybody. He always was a kindness, and he always instilled something in me that his mother and father would always tell him, Tony, it doesn't cost anything extra to just be nice. So Eddie, in his latter months of his life, became more dependent on, leaned on God for help. And I was so grateful for that, because Eddie was a believer.
Yes.
And I take great comfort in that, because I know that someday I'm going to see him again. This morning, as I was getting ready, I turned on my phone, I got my YouTube mix, and I'm going to listen to it as I shower and shave and whatnot, and I turned on my Bluetooth speaker. The very first song that comes up is a Diana Ross song, Someday We're Going to Be Together. Okay, Eddie, I've got you, brother. My friend Greg Looney called me, we talk on the phone, we're sharing memories, I hang up, turn it back on, go to the sit shuffle again. The same song plays again. Someday we're going to be together. Well, one of the last devotionals I ever shared with Eddie from Max Lucado was, God does his greatest work through the broken. It's not the strength of the vessel, but it's the strength of he that can use it. So when Eddie moved to Charleston, when we would talk on the phone 3 or 4 times a day, or not a day, a week, I'm sorry, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day. But I would end our conversation just like I ended with my sons. Eddie, I love you, I miss you, and I'm really proud of you, buddy. Godspeed, Eddie. If anybody else would like to share their memories of Eddie, I would certainly welcome you to come up and stand where you are. Eddie touched a lot of people's lives, and I know there's memories that all of us could share. So please feel free to do so. Larry, do you have something you'd like to say?
Yes, thank you. Doug and Bruce and you, that's hard to tell. My name's Larry Massetti. I've known class of 74, went to Wilson High School. See hands up for all the 74 people there. Wow, great turnout. We were friends in high school. We really became friends in Marshall, and he came down our sophomore year. I hadn't kept in touch with him much, and I was in my economics class, and here comes Eddie in there. Pretty long hair, the stacked shoes we used to wear. He was driving a midget MG, I believe it was, which broke down a few months later. And we became friends. And he looked at the Massetti family as really an extension of his own family. He used to come over for all the dinners. In fact, he would come in to see my grandmother Rose while she was cooking, and her kiss, he'd reach over and kiss her. Grandma gave the air kiss because she was stirring her spaghetti sauce. And she'd lean over and he'd give her a kiss, and she said, "You look Italian." He said, "No, but my father served in Italy in the war." That's good enough. And one little fact too that Ed told me about, Eddie was named after the famous New York Yankee pitcher Whitey Ford, who was Edward Whitey Ford. So his dad was a Yankee fan, as many of the parents. I think Mr. Korchik might be, and I believe Pete Concerto was a Yankee fan. In those days, they were easy to cheer for.
Free Stongren.
Yeah. And I think the place here it's a fitting place, as Tom said. It's in this part of town. You mentioned the VA Vikings, the Granville Grizzlies. I call it the College Avenue Concerto.
I did too.
I wasn't sure what their team was. But, and I did bring, and Tom alluded to Eddie's football career. He worked so hard, and in our one game against Welch, he gained 87 yards, scored a touchdown, and was injured in the first half, and never played again. It was heartbreaking for him because he had worked so hard. And his teammates are here today. Of course, Doug Orchis won. The quarterback, Eddie Concerto, Paul Wheeler was Paul. Tailback and defensive player, Tom Wooten, of course. I'm missing any football guys from that team. But he worked hard all the time and really played football at Park Junior, however, in this field, in the midget football league over here too. So it's pretty fitting, I think, that we're in this part of town. The one thing I think, he had a lot of special friends. there's too many to really mention here, because I'll leave somebody out. But the ones that were here that know what they did for Ed, they called him, they talked with him, they spent time with him, they helped him financially at times. They know who they are, and there's no really need to mention it. There's countless, but everybody knew what they did for Eddie, and there's a lot of people here. But I do want to mention Debbie, who's been the strength of the Ford family for many years, and thank you. You stuck by Eddie all the time. And Judy Lusk, Judy was Eddie's soulmate since 1995, I believe. Well, I think you met at my brother Michael's thing, and that started it. But Judy always stuck by Eddie, talked with him all the time, helped him in so many different ways. And don't ever forget that, please. I know he knew what people did for him.
And she's my sister.
Thank you, Debbie.
And best friend.
And the last thing I'll leave you with, he always told me, you know, when you're angry, you get mad at your spouse or your sons or daughters, whatever. And he always said, look in the mirror. And that's who you're really mad at. And his other mantra was one day at a time, and he tried to live that, and that's probably good for all of us. So I'll miss him terribly. I didn't realize how hard this would really be until I sat back there and heard them singing and Tom speaking. And, he was special and deserved probably better than the luck that he had in his life. So God bless him.
Anybody else want to share something? Come on up, big man.
I ain't gonna come up, Tom, because first of all, I'm gonna give an honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus